Ever wonder why a tiny fraction of people amass extraordinary wealth while most of us lead relatively ordinary lives? What really separates a self-made billionaire from a normal person? It turns out it's not just inheriting money or pure luck. It's a whole different way of thinking and living. Today, we'll explore 12 key differences that distinguish the ultra-rich from everyone else. These insights might surprise you, but they reveal how the wealthiest people think, act, and make decisions in ways that set them apart. Stick around for all 12 because each one builds on the last, painting a picture of a mindset and lifestyle that anyone can learn from. The ultra-rich don't wait for life to hand them opportunities. They take full ownership of their future. While most people look outward for reasons, blaming the economy, the government, or bad luck, the ultra-wealthy look inward and say, if it's going to happen, it's on me. Psychologists call this an internal locus of control, the belief that you shape your own outcomes. But for the ultra-rich, it's more than a belief. It's a way of life. They don't see setbacks as fate. They don't accept limitations handed to them by others. They see themselves as the driver, not the passenger in every situation. Where others say, I can't, they immediately ask, how can I? Where most see problems, they see puzzles waiting to be solved. That mindset doesn't just give them confidence, it gives them power. Power to act, adapt, and create their own destiny regardless of external conditions. This is the first and most crucial separator. Normal people wait for permission. Ultra-rich people give themselves permission. They don't wait to be chosen. They choose themselves. They don't hope things will improve. They make things improve. Because deep down, they know the truth. No one is coming to save me. And that's exactly why I'll win. Number 2. Big vision and long-term thinking. Ultra-rich people don't set small, safe goals. They think big. They often start with a bold vision of what they want to achieve, whether it's building a world-changing company or amassing a certain level of wealth. Crucially, they pair this vision with long-term thinking. While many of us focus on the next paycheck or the plans for this weekend, the ultra-wealthy are envisioning 5, 10, even 20 years into the future. They understand that major success doesn't happen overnight. Research has observed that self-made billionaires are extremely future-focused. They can imagine possible futures and know that success takes time. They're willing to work toward distant goals and aren't expecting quick wins. This long horizon lets them make decisions differently. For example, they might invest in a project that won't pay off for years because they see the eventual payoff. In contrast, a normal person might seek immediate rewards or give up if results don't come quickly. In short, the ultra-rich play the long game. They have patience and faith in their big ideas, which keeps them moving forward even when the payoff is far on the horizon. Number 3. Willingness to take calculated risks. If there's one thing that separates the ultra-successful, it's their comfort with risk. Rather than clinging to security, ultra-rich individuals are willing to step into the unknown to achieve their vision. This doesn't mean they gamble blindly. It means they take calculated, educated risks. For example, many of the ultra-wealthy choose to start their own businesses or invest in new ventures, when most people would prefer the stable paycheck of a regular job. In fact, data shows an overwhelming majority of millionaires are business owners, which highlights how embracing entrepreneurship, with all its risks and uncertainties, is a common path to great wealth. The average person might fear failure or losing money, so they stick to what's safe. The ultra-rich, by contrast, often say the biggest risk is not taking one. They understand that big opportunities often come with risk, whether it's investing in a bold idea, leaving a comfortable job to launch a startup, or pouring money into a new market. What's different is their mindset. They see risk as something to manage and strategize around, not something to avoid at all costs. They do their homework, trust their instincts, and then take action while others hesitate. This courageous action-taking is a defining trait. While normal folks are pondering what if, the ultra-rich have often already jumped in, with a parachute packed, of course. Number 4. Resilience and persistence. Ultra-rich individuals have a remarkable relationship with failure. They don't fear it, and they don't let it stop them. Where an average person might give up after a major setback, the ultra-wealthy tend to view failure as a learning experience on the road to success. They persist where others quit. Studies of self-made billionaires find they are extremely determined. When faced with crises or losses, they take action to overcome them and then move on, rather than wallowing or giving up. It's not that the ultra-rich never fail. Many have failed big, in business ventures, investments, etc. The difference is they keep going. They adapt, try a new angle, and use what they learned from the failure to fuel future success. This resilience often comes from that long-term perspective we mentioned. If you're playing the long game, a setback today is just a temporary bump on a much larger journey. The average person might see failure as a verdict, a sign to turn back. The ultra-rich see it as feedback, a sign to adjust and try again. This dogged persistence means they accumulate experience, wisdom, and eventually success that quitters never attain. In short, knock them down 5 times, they stand up 6. And each time, they're a bit smarter and stronger than before. Number 5. Continuous learning and self-improvement. One clear difference between the ultra-successful and the average person is how they use their free time and value knowledge. Ultra-rich people are often avid learners. They devour books, seek mentors, and constantly try to improve their skills. Instead of saying, "I know enough," they have a mindset of always be learning. Compare this to a typical person who might stop learning actively after finishing school or training for a job. The ultra-rich keep educating themselves daily. In fact, research on millionaire habits shows a striking trend. Wealthy individuals spend more time on self-education, whereas average individuals spend more time on entertainment. For example, one study found 67% of self-made millionaires watched less than an hour of mobile a day, while 77% of poor individuals watched over an hour daily. The rich would rather read, think, or exercise than sit idle in front of a screen. This isn't to say ultra-rich people never relax, but they are deliberate in making productive use of their time. They often read biographies, business books, or articles to spark new ideas. They might attend conferences or network with experts to learn new perspectives. This constant learning mindset means they are always leveling up their knowledge and skills, which opens new opportunities for making money. Meanwhile, normal people might stick to what they know or use their downtime purely for entertainment. The ultra-rich treat knowledge as an investment, one that can pay the best interest. By continuously improving themselves, they stay ahead of the curve and ready to capitalize on opportunities that others might miss. Number 6. Relentless work ethic and discipline. It may seem obvious, but it bears emphasis. Most ultra-successful people work very hard, often much harder than an average person. However, it's not just about clocking long hours. It's also about discipline and smart habits. The ultra-rich are typically highly disciplined in how they approach their goals. They set challenging targets for themselves and then do whatever it takes to reach them. Research on billionaires notes that they are extraordinarily achievement-oriented. They go above and beyond in every task and are always driven to do better. In practical terms, this might mean waking up early to get a head start on the day, maintaining a consistent routine, or rigorously prioritizing tasks that matter most. Many of the wealthy have daily habits that maximize their productivity, whether it's carving out time to brainstorm, hitting the gym to keep their energy up, or simply sticking to a task list without getting distracted. In contrast, a normal person might be more easily satisfied with a day's work or more prone to procrastination. The ultra-rich often operate with a sense of urgency and purpose in their work. They don't wait for motivation to strike. They have the discipline to work towards their goals each day, whether they feel like it or not. Over years, this discipline compounds. It's the difference between casually jogging and training like an Olympic athlete. The level of consistent, focused effort is just different. And that relentless work ethic, paired with a clear vision, produces extraordinary results over time. While others call it a day, the ultra-rich might be refining a plan, making one extra business call, or perfecting a product. It's not that they never rest, but they earn their success through habitual, disciplined effort that most people aren't willing to sustain. Number 7. Strategic networking and relationships. Success at the highest level is rarely a one-person show. Ultra-rich individuals understand the power of relationships and networks. They make a conscious effort to surround themselves with other ambitious, knowledgeable, and positive people. This is a stark contrast to the average person, who might socialize haphazardly or stick with the crowd they grew up with, even if those relationships don't inspire growth. Self-made millionaires often seek out mentors, advisors, or partners who can teach them and open doors. They also tend to avoid toxic, negative influences that can derail their progress. There's actually data on this. In one study, 86% of wealthy people associated with other successful, driven individuals, whereas 96% of poor individuals spent time primarily with negative or unmotivated people. The ultra-rich consciously curate their environment. They want to be challenged and inspired by their peers. If they have an idea, they know whom to call to get expert advice or funding. They often have a network of genius, professionals like lawyers, investors, or fellow entrepreneurs to collaborate with. Additionally, ultra-rich folks often have a talent for persuasion and teamwork. They can sell their vision and get others excited to work on it. They know how to leverage other people's strengths by building teams or even entire companies around their goals. By contrast, a normal individual might try to do everything themselves or lack access to high-impact networks. The ultra-wealthy actively seek connections who can help them grow, and they reciprocate by offering value to others, creating a virtuous cycle of support. This networking edge means the ultra-rich often hear about opportunities first, get preferential deals, or simply learn insights through conversations that most people would never come across. In essence, it's not just what you know, but who you know, and the wealthiest take that to heart. Number 8, financial savvy and money mastery. One of the clearest practical differences between ultra-rich people and everyone else is how they think about and use money. For the ultra-wealthy, money isn't just something to spend, it's a tool to build more wealth. They are typically very savvy about finances. They understand investing, know how to make money work for them, and avoid wasting money on things that don't give returns. An average person might earn money and immediately use it to pay bills or buy comforts, hoping to save a little leftover. In contrast, the ultra-rich habitually pay themselves first, meaning they invest in assets, like stocks, real estate, or businesses, before anything else, ensuring their money grows. They also tend to avoid get-rich-quick traps or frivolous gambles. For instance, studies found that 94% of wealthy individuals never played the lottery, whereas 77% of poorer individuals played the lottery every week. In other words, the rich aren't betting their future on a lucky ticket. They're methodically building wealth. They often have budgets, know their numbers, and consult financial advisors to optimize taxes or returns. They understand concepts like compound interest, equity, and leverage, and they use them to their advantage. The ultra-rich also typically live below their means. It might surprise you, but many billionaires are relatively frugal in their day-to-day life. They'd rather invest in another business or innovation than splurge everything on luxury consumables. Though they certainly enjoy their wealth, they do so judiciously. An ordinary person might max out credit cards or take loans for a new car. An ultra-rich person is more likely to use debt strategically, like taking a low-interest loan to finance a profitable venture, not to buy depreciating assets. Overall, the wealthy take money seriously. They track it, grow it, and treat every dollar as an employee that should work for them, not the other way around. This financial mindset is a huge separator. It's how $1 becomes $1 million over time, through smart choices and patience instead of being frittered away. Number 9. Multiple income streams and ownership. If you examine the portfolios of the ultra-wealthy, you'll usually find more than one source of income. Unlike most people who rely on one job or salary, rich individuals create diverse streams of money coming in. They might have income from a primary business, plus investments in stocks, rental income from properties, dividends from other companies, and so on. This diversification is intentional. It both accelerates wealth growth and provides stability. If one stream falters, the others can cushion the blow. A classic study of self-made millionaires found that 65% had at least 3 different streams of income. Think about that. While an average person works one job, a millionaire might be earning from a business and from investments and from real estate simultaneously. This doesn't mean they physically work 3 jobs. Often they set up passive or semi-passive income streams. For example, they might own part of a company that pays them dividends, or they've built an online product that sells while they sleep. Many ultra-rich also embrace ownership. They would rather own 50% of a great enterprise than 0% of their employer's company. Owning assets, businesses, properties, intellectual property, etc., is a key wealth builder. As mentioned earlier, a huge percentage of millionaires are business owners. By owning things, they benefit from growth and profits in a way a salary earner cannot. The average person might fear the complexity of multiple ventures or not know how to start a side investment. The ultra-rich actively seek to create new income pillars. They are constantly looking for the next investment or opportunity to add. Over time, having multiple streams means their wealth snowballs much faster. It's like having several engines propelling their financial train forward instead of a single engine. And if one engine breaks down, the train still moves. This approach sets them apart clearly. They build and buy sources of income, whereas most people simply work for income. Number 10, maximizing time and productivity. For the ultra-wealthy, time is the ultimate asset, even more precious than money. We all get the same 24 hours in a day, but the rich have learned to squeeze the most value out of their time. One key is that they often delegate or outsource tasks that don't require their personal attention. While a normal person might insist on doing everything themselves, from cleaning the house to bookkeeping to running errands, ultra-rich individuals will hire people or use services to handle routine tasks, freeing up their time for more important activities. The reasoning is simple. If you can pay someone $20 an hour to mow the lawn or do admin work, and use that hour to make $100 or forge a major business deal, you should do it. As one business expert bluntly put it, one key to growing your wealth is learning to value your time more than money. The ultra-rich live by that principle. They constantly ask, is this the best use of my time? If not, they change it. They schedule their days relentlessly, focusing on high-impact tasks. They say no to a lot of distractions and low-value activities that normal people often waste time on. Also, as mentioned before, they trade mindless leisure for self-improvement, which is a time optimization in itself. None of this is to say they don't relax or enjoy life. They do, but often even their leisure has purpose, like networking on a golf course or recharging mentally to come back stronger. The ultra-rich also use systems and teams to extend their reach. If they run a business, they trust competent managers to handle daily operations while they strategize the next big move. They use technology and assistance to automate scheduling, email, finances, etc. In contrast, many of us get bogged down in everyday tasks and lose sight of the bigger picture. The wealthy take a step back and ask, how can I get more done in less time? They treat time like money in the bank, spending it carefully and investing it where it yields the highest return. This superior time management is a hidden advantage that compounds, allowing them to achieve much more over the years than someone who hasn't optimized their time. Work smarter, not just harder. The ultra-rich embody that saying by fiercely guarding their minutes and hours. Number 11. Thinking differently and innovation. Ultra-wealthy individuals often see the world through a unique lens. They are not afraid to question norms, challenge the status quo, and think creatively. In many cases, this nonconformist streak is exactly how they found their fortune, by doing something in a new way or spotting an opportunity others overlooked. While an average person might be content to play it safe and do things the way they've always been done, the ultra-rich person asks, is there a better way? They often enjoy swimming against the current, as one expert observed. Instead of copying what everyone else is doing, they carve their own path. This might mean innovating a new product, disrupting an industry, or investing in a trend before it becomes obvious. For example, many of the biggest fortunes in recent years came from people who thought differently about technology, finance, or media. Think of how innovators in social media, electric cars, or cryptocurrencies bucked conventional wisdom initially. The ultra-rich also tend to be comfortable standing out. They don't mind being criticized or doubted. In fact, many even become uncomfortable if they realize they're thinking too much like everyone else. This independent thinking helps them identify unique opportunities for success. Additionally, a lot of ultra-rich folks embrace creative problem-solving. When faced with a challenge, they might brainstorm 10 different solutions rather than assume it's unsolvable. This creative mindset means they can generate value in ways an average person might not even imagine. It's a separating factor because creating massive wealth often requires innovation, doing or seeing something novel that creates big value. Whether it's starting a revolutionary company or simply structuring deals in clever ways, the wealthy use their imagination and originality as tools. For the rest of us, it's a reminder that sometimes thinking outside the box is not just a cliché, but a real differentiator in achieving extraordinary outcomes. Number 12. Passion and purpose. Beyond money. One of the most compelling things that separates many ultra-successful people from others is why they do what they do. Surprisingly often, the ultra-rich are not solely motivated by the money itself. Instead, they are driven by a passion for their work or a purpose to accomplish something meaningful, and the wealth follows as a kind of side effect. Think about it. Building a huge fortune usually requires years of effort, creativity, and problem-solving. If someone hated their work or was only in it for a quick buck, they'd likely burn out or quit long before reaching an ultra-rich status. What keeps them going is that they genuinely care about their project, product, or mission. Many billionaires will tell you they love the game of business, or they were on a mission to change an industry or help others. In the words of one observer, people who are passion-driven to accomplish something they care about always seem to have enough money, whereas people who just love money for its own sake rarely end up with much. In other words, purpose drives profit. When you're passionate, you go the extra mile, overcome obstacles, and persist, all the traits we discussed, because you actually enjoy the process or believe in the cause. For example, an entrepreneur might be obsessed with solving a problem or improving lives with their product. That passion makes their work meaningful, not just lucrative. On the other hand, a person working a job they dislike for a paycheck is counting the hours, not leaping out of bed excited to innovate. This difference in motivation often means the ultra-rich continue to work even after they've made it. It's why you see billionaires still pushing new projects. Their drive wasn't just to accumulate X dollars, it was to achieve a vision or leave a legacy. Meanwhile, many of us would happily retire if we hit the jackpot. The ultra-rich often view wealth as a tool to fulfill their purpose, not the end goal. They might even give away large portions of their wealth to causes. Think of philanthropists. Because for them, the impact or legacy is the real reward. Having a strong purpose or passion infuses all the other differences we've talked about with energy. It's the invisible force that propels them to think big, work hard, take risks, and stay persistent. And it's a profound separator. Pursuing a passion can lead to great wealth, but simply pursuing wealth rarely leads to great passion. Conclusion. In wrapping up, it's clear that what separates the ultra-rich from normal people is far more than the number of zeros in their bank account. It's a whole constellation of attitudes, habits, and choices. They think differently, act differently, and even feel differently about challenges and opportunities. Importantly, none of these traits are inborn or exclusive to those who already have money. They are ways of thinking and behaving that anyone can strive to adopt. The ultra-rich simply practice certain principles with extraordinary consistency and scale. By understanding these 12 differences, we get a window into how extraordinary wealth is built. It's not magic or pure luck, it's mindset, strategy, and relentless execution. Even if we don't all become ultra-rich, adopting a few of these approaches can set us on a path to a more successful and fulfilling life. After all, as we've learned, the greatest fortunes often start in the mind long before they appear in the bank. So, which of these differences resonated most with you? Let us know, and remember, think big, stay curious, and keep growing. Who knows where it might lead? Thank you for watching.